Money is not moved by effort, it is moved by alignment. This truth sounds almost impossible at first, because the world has taught you the opposite. From the moment you were a child, you were told that if you worked harder, longer, and faster, then money would appear. But look around, there are those who sweat endlessly and still remain broke. And then there are those who seem to speak one word, make one movement, and wealth gathers at their feet. The reason is not luck. The reason is law. The invisible law of the spirit is always more powerful than the visible law of labor. Money does not obey exhaustion. It obeys the vibration of the soul. Picture this clearly. A weary person bends over books, late into the night, chasing bills, fighting fear, waiting for relief. They collapse into bed drained, only to wake up with the same weight pressing on their chest. Now picture another soul.com, centered. They close their eyes, speak a word of truth, and within days the phone rings, the door opens, an opportunity appears. The difference is not an effort. The difference is in alignment. The world of money is like a locked treasury, but the key is not in your hands. The key is in your words. Every phrase you speak is either a command to open the treasury or to keep it sealed. This is the divine secret. Money obeys. What if the universe is already holding your wealth, waiting for you to open the gate? What if every dollar you have prayed for is already circling you, waiting for one signal to land? What if money does not need to be chased at all, only called? Florence Scovel Shinn revealed this mystery more than a century ago. She taught that every word you speak is a decree sent into the unseen. The invisible world hears you and responds with exactness. Speak of lack and you will meet lack. Speak of supply and supply will rise to meet you. Your tongue is the scepter of command. With it, you either rule in prosperity or remain chained in poverty. Take a breath and let this sink into your heart. Your words are not small, they are not random, they are not weak. They are the blueprint of your destiny. They are the map the universe follows to deliver your experience. When you say, I never have enough, the treasury hears and closes. When you say, I am divinely supplied, the treasury opens and responds. Do you see it now? The work is not to chase harder, to sweat more, or to beg the world. The work is to align your speech with divine truth. This is why some people's lives change instantly, because they stop fighting the external and begin commanding the invisible. So, I ask you today, what words have you been speaking over your life? What silent decrees are shaping your days? Have you unknowingly been commanding lack by repeating it every morning? Or will you now choose to command wealth by speaking it into being? There is a sacred orchestra playing behind the curtain of your life. Every word you speak is like an instrument tuning in. Some strike the chord of abundance, others strike the chord of struggle. The music that plays in your outer life is nothing more than the echo of the notes you've been striking within. This is why I must invite you, right now, to become intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your inner dialogue. Because money is not resisting you. Money is waiting for you to give it permission to flow, and that permission is spoken, not earned. If these words are awakening something in you, if they are calling you to live above fear and struggle, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Every day we dive into teachings like this, unlocking spiritual truths that awaken your divine prosperity. This is not entertainment. This is transformation. And if your soul is ready, this is your place. Imagine this moment as a turning point. You have been running after money, trying to pull it with your hands. But today, you discover that money has ears. It hears, it responds, it moves toward the voice of faith. You will not leave this teaching unchanged. You are beginning to recognize the sacred law at work in your life. The law that does not care about how long you have struggled. The law that does not delay once you align. The law that answers immediately when you call from faith instead of fear. So hear me clearly. In this very moment, one hidden shift can change the course of your finances forever. The second you change your words, you change your world. The second you align with truth, the treasury opens. The second you speak with authority, money shows up fast. Let your heart beat faster with this realization. Let your spirit rise with expectation, because you are about to walk into the secret that changes everything. And as we move forward, I will show you exactly how to use it, so that the invisible becomes visible, and the wealth that belongs to you appears without delay. This is the sacred beginning. Stay with me, because in this moment you are standing at the gate. and what you discover next will make money show up faster than you ever imagined. Here is the truth hidden in plain sight. The second you change your words, you change your world. This is the title speaks of. It is not another hustle, not another desperate chase, not another exhausting sacrifice. It is the conscious replacement of words of lack with words of divine abundance, spoken with faith and authority. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every phrase you release is a seed dropped into the soil of the subconscious. And the subconscious never argues, it never questions, it only receives and produces in kind. Speak fear and it multiplies fear. Speak wealth and it multiplies wealth. This is the law of substitution and the power of the spoken word. Your words are not casual sounds, they are commands. They are blueprints. They are the invisible sketches that construct your outer life. Think of an architect drawing the lines of a great building. Nothing stands on the earth yet. The structure is still empty air. But on paper, the plan is written. That plan guides the workers. That plan determines the outcome. So it is with your words. Each sentence you speak is another line on the blueprint of your financial life. Each phrase builds the invisible structure of your bank account. When you say I don't have enough, you are drafting a blueprint of limitation. You are carving scarcity into the walls of your subconscious. You are designing a house where lack becomes the permanent tenant. But when you declare, everything I need comes quickly and easily by divine right, the plan changes, the foundation shifts. Suddenly, you have drawn doors where there were none, windows open where the walls were closed, pathways appear where once there were only barriers. This is the power most people ignore. They speak thoughtlessly and then wonder why their lives mirror struggle. The law is exact. Speak lack, receive lack. Speak supply, receive supply. The universe is not cruel, it is precise. It delivers the harvest of the seeds you have sown with your tongue. But here's the secret. Florence knew well, the speed of manifestation is not tied to struggle. It is tied to faith and consistency of command. A king does not beg his servants to obey. He speaks once, with certainty, and the command is carried out in the same way. When you declare with authority, your subconscious and the invisible law of supply move instantly to fulfill your word. The delay only comes when your speech is mixed, when you plant seeds of wealth one day and uproot them with words of fear the next. So I invite you now into a practice of holy substitution. Every time your mind whispers, I can't afford this, replace it with, I am richly supplied, and every need is met in perfect ways. When you feel the urge to say, money never stays with me, substitute it with money flows to me and multiplies in my hands. With each substitution, you are rewriting the blueprint. With each substitution, you are commanding the treasury to open. Try this with me now. Close your eyes for a moment and repeat softly, I now speak words of wealth. I am aligned with divine abundance. Everything I need comes quickly, easily, and in perfect ways. As you speak, imagine golden lights surrounding you, filling every corner of your life. See doors swinging open. See channels of money rushing in from directions you cannot predict. Hold the vision and let it sink into your heart. This is not fantasy. This is the law. The subconscious obeys the dominant words spoken with conviction, and once the subconscious accepts it, the outer world rearranges itself to reflect it. From this moment forward, you will begin to notice how deeply your old phrases shaped your experience, and you will see how fast things begin to change when you align your words with truth. This is the law that changes everything. It is the law that frees you from the illusion that you must work yourself into the ground. It is the law that proves money shows up fast when called by the right command. So let your mouth become your instrument, let your tongue become your scepter, and let your words become the decree of your new financial life. Because the moment you substitute fear with faith-filled speech, you cross the threshold into a new reality, and what you discover in the next breath will show you how quickly the prison of lack crumbles when the power of your word is finally set free. There is a prison more confining than iron bars, a prison built not of stone, but of words spoken in fear, and thoughts repeated in despair. Most people do not even realize they live behind these invisible walls. They rise in the morning and chain themselves with their own tongue. They whisper sentences like, I can't afford it. They sigh, money never stays with me. They shake their head and mutter, I'll never get ahead. And without knowing, they write the blueprint of their future in the language of lack. Picture this. The bills arrive in a heavy stack. The weight of numbers feels like a mountain pressing against your chest. Your heart quickens, your mind spins, and an old voice begins its chant. There's not enough. there's never enough. You repeat it silently, sometimes aloud, and in that moment, you are rehearsing poverty, you are rehearsing fear. You are rehearsing chains that bind you more tightly than any outer circumstance could. Florence Scovel Shinn warned that every declaration you make is a seed dropped into the soil of your subconscious. The subconscious does not debate with you. It does not weigh truth against falsehood. It records, it accepts, it produces. Speak lack, and it bears lack. Speak shortage, and it multiplies shortage. Every word becomes a law to your own inner world. Think of it like this: your words are soldiers. Each phrase you release goes marching into the unseen, carrying orders. If you, "Come on, I cannot afford this," those soldiers go forth and make sure you cannot. If you command, "Money slips through my hands," those soldiers will open your hands until nothing remains. But if you command, "By divine right, every need is met, and supply flows without delay," then your soldiers return with treasures. They obey without question. They act without pause. This is the silent prison of lack thinking. It does not arrive all at once. It builds itself brick by brick, thought by thought, word by word. One sentence may seem harmless. One sentence may seem harmless. One sigh of defeat may feel like a release. But repeated day after day, it becomes the script of your life. The subconscious reads it back to you as your reality. Bills remain heavy, opportunities remain hidden, doors remain closed, and you begin to believe that this is destiny, when in truth it is only rehearsal turned to performance. Consider the psychology. When you say, "I can't," your subconscious hears a command. When you say, "I never," your subconscious accepts it as fact. When you say, "I'm always broke," your subconscious shapes your actions and filters your vision so that this remains true. It is not punishing you, it is serving you. It is the faithful servant of your word. Like a divine stenographer, it writes down every phrase and ensures it is carried out in the theater of your life. Florence warned that negative declarations are like writing checks from an empty account. Imagine standing in a bank, signing check after check, with nothing behind it. Each one bounces, leaving you deeper in debt. This is what happens when we continually say, "There is not enough." Each word is a check that cannot clear, and yet we continue writing, believing somehow that life will honor it. But life cannot honor lack. Life multiplies only what you give it. And here is the hardest truth to face. Your present condition, whether it is struggle or sufficiency, is the harvest of words already spoken. The life you live today is a garden grown from yesterday's declarations. This is not to condemn you. This is to awaken you. For if past words built your present, then new words can build your future. Destiny is not fixed. The prison door is not locked. The key rests on your own tongue. Pause for a moment. Reflect on the sentences you have spoken this very week. Did you tell yourself that money is scarce, that opportunities are rare, that wealth belongs to others but not to you? Or did you declare, even in the face of challenge, that supply is abundant and that the divine source never fails? This is the mirror, now being held before you. Look honestly, look gently, but do not look away. The prison of lack is not eternal. The walls tremble the moment you change the script. What has been rehearsed can be rewritten. What has been declared in fear can be replaced with declarations of faith. And every soldier of your words can be reassigned to bring you treasures instead of chains. This is not wishful thinking. It is divine law. The law is neutral, but its results are precise. Speak lack, and lack appears. Speak supply, and supply comes. Speak delay, and delay persists. Speak speed, and speed obeys. The law does not sleep. The law does not falter. The law fulfills whatever command it receives. Your life is not a sentence written in stone. It is a script performed by the words you give it. And just as words built your prison, words will build your freedom. And so, as we step forward, let this realization sink deeper. Your present is not punishment. It is a reflection. And reflection means possibility. The mirror may show lack today, but the mirror can be turned tomorrow. The tongue that once chained you can now set you free. Now, with this truth awakening inside you, we move into the sacred shift. If words have built your prison, then words will build your palace. If your tongue has drawn the blueprint of lack, it can also draft the blueprint of wealth. The transformation begins when you decide to change your language, when you decide to command supply instead of shortage. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the weight of the old script becomes unbearable. A moment when repeating, "I can't," feels like poison to the tongue. A moment when the echo of lack becomes so loud that the heart cries out for a new sound. That moment is the turning point. That moment is the opening of the sacred gate of wealth. The truth is simple, yet most overlook it. The second you change your words, you change your life. It does not take years. It does not require endless struggle. It begins in a breath, in a sentence, in the courage to declare a new law. Your word is the key, your tongue is the password, and when spoken with faith, it swings open the gate that has always been before you. Imagine standing before a great door carved with symbols of abundance. For years, you have pushed against it with effort, strain, and anxiety, but it never moved. And then you learned the secret. The door does not respond to pushing, it opens to a declaration. The password is not toil, the password is truth spoken with conviction, and the moment you say it, the door glides open without resistance, revealing streams of light and flow rushing toward you. This is the law of the tongue, the divine orchestra that arranges itself according to the notes you sound. Say lack, and the instruments play a discordant tune. Say supply, and the music lifts, harmonizing opportunities, people, and resources in ways you could never engineer. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the power of the spoken word. It is not a metaphor, it is law. Here is where the shift begins. Instead of repeating the chants of lack, you take on a new language. Declarations rooted in divine right, words that summon supply, sentences that carry the fragrance of abundance. Begin here. Money comes to me quickly, easily, and in perfect ways. I am aligned with divine supply, and nothing is withheld from me. Every word I speak builds wealth, order, and joy into my life. Pause as you say them. Feel them as more than words. See them as commands written in golden ink upon the scroll of your subconscious. Each affirmation is not begging, it is not wishing, it is the voice of authority, spoken from the throne of your divine identity. Florence often said that one fearless declaration can undo years of negative belief. Like striking a match in a darkened room, the light does not argue with the dark, it simply fills the space. In the same way, one word spoken with power can dissolve the residue of years spent in lack thinking. You do not need to battle the past. You need only choose the word that aligns with the divine law now. Consider a story. A man drowning in debt, buried beneath overdue bills and sleepless nights, discovered this truth. For years he repeated, "I can't afford it, nothing ever works for me." His words had become his shackles. Then one day, in desperation, he chose a different phrase. He declared aloud, "Money comes to me quickly, easily, and in perfect ways." At first, it felt strange, even foolish, but he persisted. He repeated it in the morning, while walking, before bed. Days later, a forgotten client paid him unexpectedly. A week later, a friend offered him a new opportunity. Within months, the tide had turned. His circumstances shifted not because the world suddenly changed, but because he did. He spoke a new law, and the universe rearranged itself in response. This is the sacred gate. You do not need to know how supply will come. You do not need to outline the method. Your only task is to speak the word that carries. Faith, wealth is never delayed by the universe. It is delayed only by the sentences we cling to. Release the chant of fear, and speak the command of faith. The moment you do, the flow begins. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a river dammed by stones. Each stone is a phrase of lack you have spoken. It's too hard, it never works, I don't deserve it. Now see yourself lifting each stone by speaking a new declaration. Supply is mine now. A stone lifts, divine channels open easily for me. Another stone lifts, I am provided for in overflowing measure, and suddenly the dam breaks, and the river rushes forth, unstoppable, abundant, carrying wealth and relief to every part of your life. This is the law of substitution in action. A negative statement cannot exist in the same space as a positive declaration spoken with authority. The moment you substitute I lack with I receive, the energy shifts. The moment you exchange I can't with by divine right, I can, the door swings wide. So, speak boldly, declare daily. Let your tongue become the architect of your freedom. Do not whisper timidly. Command as one who knows their divine inheritance. For every time you do, the sacred gate responds, and wealth moves quickly into your life. And as this truth settles in your spirit, feel the light breaking through. The storm of lack gives way to the sunlight of supply. The sacred gate opens, and you are no longer standing outside. You are walking through, carried by the current of abundance that has always been waiting for your word. Now that you know the gate is open, the question becomes, how do you walk through it daily without falling back into old habits of lack? That is where we go next. Knowledge becomes power only when it is practiced. The sacred gate of wealth does not remain open through theory alone. It opens wider each time you choose the word, the image, the thought that aligns with divine supply. What I share with you now are not mere techniques. They are living tools, sacred practices that anchor invisible law into daily life. The first is the morning command ritual. When you awaken, your subconscious is open like fertile soil, ready to receive seeds. Most people begin their day with worry, already rehearsing lack, but you will begin differently. Before your feet touch the floor, speak 3 affirmations of supply, aloud with calm authority. Money comes to me quickly, easily, and in perfect ways. I am one with divine abundance, and it manifests now. Every channel of supply is open to me, and nothing is withheld. Let these words be the first sound your day hears. Like a musician striking the opening note of a divine orchestra, they set the tone for everything that follows. Do not whisper them timidly. Speak them as law. Speak them as truth. The second tool is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine the unseen already fulfilled. See envelopes arriving with unexpected checks. See your bank account glowing with new deposits. See yourself receiving with ease, your face calm, your heart steady. Picture money as light, flowing toward you through open doors, through divine channels, through paths you cannot yet see. The mind does not argue with an image, it builds what it beholds. Every time you visualize, you instruct your inner architect to prepare the blueprint for wealth. The third is journaling. Words written become roots in the soil of consciousness. Each morning or evening, write this declaration across the page. Today I receive unexpected money through channels of divine right. Write it with joy, not strain. Write it as fact. Allow your pen to become a wand that carves wealth into the unseen. If fear rises while writing, do not resist it. Acknowledge it, then write again with stronger faith. The fourth tool is reframing inner dialogue. Listen closely to the whispers of your mind. Do you hear, I hope I get money? Replace it with, money flows to me now. Do you catch, I don't know how I'll manage? Transform it into, by divine right, I am supplied. These shifts may seem small, but they are everything. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every word is a command. When you reframe the inner sentence, you redirect the law. You stop wandering in circles and step onto the straight path of supply. The fifth tool is prayer spoken in Florence's style, short, firm, and rooted in authority. Pray this throughout your day. I speak the word, and my good appears without delay. It is not asking, it is declaring. Say it in the morning, say it at night. Say it when fear rises like a shadow. Each time, feel the words striking the invisible like a hammer on a bell, sending out waves that call supply into form. Now understand this. Timing matters. Repetition is the rhythm of creation. Speak these affirmations in the morning when the soil of your subconscious is soft. Speak them before bed, planting seeds for the night to water, and speak them whenever fear arises. For fear is only a suggestion. Your declaration is the final word. Think of each spoken truth as a brick laid upon an invisible bridge. Every affirmation, every prayer, every reframe adds another brick. With each day of practice, the bridge grows stronger, stretching from the unseen realm of divine supply into the visible world of your life, and soon, money begins to travel across that bridge with ease, arriving quickly, surely, in ways that surprise you. Do not treat these practices as chores, approach them as sacred rituals. Each word is a candle lit in the temple of your soul. Each image is a window opening to divine sunlight. Each prayer is a key turning in the lock of destiny. And as you repeat them daily, something profound shifts. You no longer feel like one begging at the door of life. You realize you are the heir of an infinite kingdom, and your inheritance responds to your command. Begin today. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Speak the affirmations when you rise. Visualize before you leave your home. Write your declaration in your journal. Reframe your inner dialogue as often as needed. And when fear knocks, meet it with a prayer of authority. These are not empty exercises. They are laws in action. And as you practice, you will feel the energy move. You will notice small openings at first, a discount, a gift, an unexpected favor. These are signs that the flow has begun. Rejoice in them and keep practicing. For each brick you lay, each word you speak, brings the bridge closer to completion. And one day, not far from now, you will look up and realize that money flows to you freely, consistently, joyfully, because you built the path through your own spoken word. This is how you activate immediate flow, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. And as you embody these tools, you prepare for the next step, to live not only in moments of flow but in a permanent state of divine supply. That is, the journey ahead. There comes a moment on the soul's journey when the shift is no longer just a thought but a living reality. You step out of the shadow of fear and into the radiant field of divine command. Money, once a symbol of struggle, now becomes the obedient messenger of your spoken word. You are no longer chasing it, no longer pleading for it. You are summoning what was already written for you before time began. Look back for a moment at the old self, the self that whispered doubts in the silence of night, the self that believed it was unworthy of abundance, that prayed with trembling, "I hope something comes." That self stood in the dust, hoping for crumbs from life's table. That self lived beneath the power of its own divine inheritance. But today, that shadow dissolves. See now the new self rising, calm, centered, unshaken. This self does not beg, it commands. This self does not chase, it attracts. This self does not live as a victim of circumstance, it lives as the orchestrator of circumstance. You are this self. You are the living magnet of fast supply. Your word is law, and your law is rooted in the divine law that governs all. The deeper truth is revealed. You are not attracting money as if it were separate from you. You are commanding what was already woven into your destiny. You are unlocking the storehouses of heaven with the key of your tongue. When you speak wealth, the doors swing wide. When you affirm supply, angels of provision are dispatched. When you declare, "I am divinely supplied now," the universe bends to obey. So speak this with me as a living declaration. I now speak words of wealth. Money shows up for me quickly and in perfect ways. I am divinely supplied now. Let those words sink into the soil of your subconscious. Imagine them as golden seeds carried by the wind of spirit. Every repetition waters the ground, and soon you will walk among the harvest of your own spoken word. This is your transformation. The timid voice has fallen silent. The commanding voice has risen. You no longer wonder when supply will come. You know it comes the moment you speak it. You are the magnet of fast supply, charged by divine energy, glowing with unstoppable radiance. Feel the contrast. Yesterday you lived in hesitation. Today you live in certainty. Yesterday you measured your worth by the balance in your account. Today you measure it by the infinite wealth of God that flows through you. Yesterday you believed in lack. Today you embody abundance. You are a co-creator with the divine architect. You stand not as a servant of money but as its master. The same way the sun calls forth the dawn, your word calls forth provision. The same way rivers carve valleys, your declarations carve pathways where wealth rushes to meet you. You are no longer in waiting, you are in command. Let this truth echo through your spirit. You are not trying to become wealthy, you are remembering that wealth was yours all along. The invisible crown rests on your head. The seal of abundance is already imprinted on your soul. Each time you speak the word, you wear that crown with greater certainty. Each time you choose faith over fear, you shine with the majesty of your divine birthright. Now walk forward in this new authority. Each day, rise and command your supply. Each night, rest, knowing the divine economy never sleeps. And when fear attempts to return, answer it with the voice of power. I live as a magnet of fast supply. All that I require rushes to me in perfect ways. Your journey does not end here, it begins here. This is the awakening of your wealth consciousness, the sacred remembrance of who you are. Never again will you speak words of lack. Never again will you diminish your divine power. From this day forward, you will walk with the stride of one who knows that heaven's storehouse is always open, and your command is always heard. And now, I invite you to anchor this transformation, not just for today, but for every day that follows. Declare it aloud, live it boldly, share it with others, become the radiant example of divine supply in action. If this truth has awakened something deep within you, stay connected here. Subscribe and walk with me daily as we continue to expand your wealth consciousness and build the inner temple of abundance. Together, we rise as living testimonies that lack has no power and supply has no limit. This is your transformation. You are the magnet of fast supply, and the world now rearranges itself to prove it true.